Marcus Speaks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks. I'm your host, Marcus. You know, today's going to be a great show. I had a great show last night. I want to take some time, real fast, and thank everybody who came out to watch the show last night. I did my gaming show that I usually do on Fridays. I want to thank the people who came out because usually I have like maybe one or two viewers. Last night I had 100, and it just kept climbing. So I just want to say to them, thank you guys. All right. Now, I want to get into the promotion just a little bit, and then we can get on with the show. So let me hit my theme music. Where is my theme music? Alright, check this out. So please do not forget, Fridays I do a game stream. Marcus Speaks Play. Be here or be square. As well, on Saturdays I do this, my podcast. Be here or be square. I start 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would love for you guys to be here. You should be here for the simple fact that every time I have a hard hitting topic. So what are you waiting on? Alright? I have two YouTube channels that you guys can subscribe to. I have Marcus Speaks, which you are watching the podcast on, as well as Marcus Speaks Play. If you can, please go to the channels. On either channel, you can subscribe to both. And I suggest you to do that as well. Alright? Marcus Speaks is where I basically is the home hub. Marcus Speaks Play is where I only exclusively do gameplay streams. Alright? So check out that link in the description box below. As well, I'll do game streams over at Twitch as well on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want you guys to come out and see those. As well, if you have a recommendation, such as a game recommendation you want me to play, or a story recommendation, hey, right here, you guys should tell me those either in the live chat, or you can let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay, or you can hit me up in my DMs on social media, which is, you can find me here at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So hit those DMs up, let me know what you want me to do as far as all that, and I can do it for you, alright? So if you could, check all those links that I have mentioned and that have been shown here on screen. If you could, please hit those links up, subscribe, follow, alright? I gladly appreciate that. As well, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell icon to all so you can immediately get all my notifications once I go live, alright? And please don't forget, drop a comment, alright? Let me know in the live chat what you want to see and what's going on, alright? Just let me know. Also, I'm not being paid to say this. This is not a paid promotion, but I'm using Restream.com to stream this right now. I love Restream.com. Some people like StreamYard. Some people like Streamlabs. Me, myself personally, I like Restream. Restream helps me out with all of the things that I have to do. And again, hit the link if you want to talk to the host. It's posted right there in the live chat. If you want to come up here and talk to me about tonight's topic, hey, the link's right there for you to do so. Just click it. Click it good. Alright? So, people. I usually, when I do my show, there is a certain thing that happens that either I have to have permission or I have to follow a guideline. Me, myself personally, I follow the law as well as these YouTube guidelines. And what that one thing is that I'm talking about is fair use. So when I go and talk about the topics that I do, I usually have a video that goes along with it that helps me along, push my point across to where you guys can fully understand what I'm talking about. So instead of me sitting here and blabbering, telling you guys what it is, I'll just let my past self tell you what it is. So, past self, tell them what fair use is. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right, that was great. Now, with today's show is going to be a great show. Um, so what I usually do, I start off with a little bit of banter, and I talk about some things that is going on here in the 1 second. I'll talk about some things that is going on here in the. Oh, that's my screen going crazy. Okay, let me get my screen. Okay, so usually I talk about some short, some short news stories that's out in the world right now. And starting off, why is Mike Tyson putting uh why is Mike Tyson putting doorknobs on people's heads these days? Like, I'm guessing the story goes that he was on a plane riding first class, and I'm guessing a passenger on the plane was annoying him, and from what reports have said, that the man threatened him, so Mike decided to put a few skibbity paps on his face. So let's go deep into that right now.
On camera,
Sorry.
crazy fight involving boxing legend Mike Tyson on board a flight that was about to take off from San Francisco. And CBS 2's Christine Lazar joins us now with video of what went down.
Another week, another unruly passenger, but this time he's famous, of course. And he throws a good punch.
Oh,
so that had to hurt. Now, according to TMZ, the incident went down around 10:30 last night as Mike Tyson was slated to fly out of San Francisco International Airport to Florida. A witness on the JetBlue flight says Tyson repeatedly punched a guy in the face after getting annoyed by him.
Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop that.
The witness said at first Tyson took a selfie with the guy and kept his cool as the man's friend tried to talk to him. But once he had had enough of it, he asked the man to stop. And when the guy didn't, that's when Tyson reportedly started to throw several punches at the man's face before walking off the plane. Now, a photo obtained by TMZ shows the passengers.
Don't he look pitiful? He looks pitiful as hell. Let's keep going.
Bloodied forehead. He reportedly received medical attention and went over what happened with the police. So far, there's been no comment on the incident from Tyson's camp or JetBlue. DeMarco?
It's almost like he was asked.
All right. Well, no comment from here as well. So, let's get into another short story before we get into the top news picks of the week. There's something that I want to talk about real fast, and that is the Wade family. Now, the Wade family had, they were celebrating Easter last Sunday with a slew of Instagram pictures. A few of those I'm not sharing due to the content and nature of them. But you can see over on the very right, it is D Wade's daughter, his trans daughter, with his trans boyfriend. Now, with the ball of confusion of what you see in front of you right now, uh, they decided to take a picture of them two sharing a kiss together. Now, some people may be asking, well, Marcus, why is that a ball of confusion? Because Zaya is a trans girl, which you know what trans means, a transition. So D Wade's daughter used to be his son. Now he is his daughter. Now with the boyfriend business, the girl that the girl used to be no, the boy used to be a girl that transitioned. Ball of confusion because somewhere in there that I'm not understanding, someone is the boyfriend and someone is the girlfriend. I don't know who is, so I'm not even gonna touch that part. Just the part on this. Why would they take a photo of two 13-year-olds kissing and put it on Instagram? Now, from what you guys have noticed, in the recent year, that D Wade has been parading his son along, and some people you know, may make their comments and stuff like that. But D Wade and them, they just didn't know any better. Zaya has been in the news for countless amounts of time throughout the past year with the transition and stuff like that. But you know, uh, I just feel as though that D Wade crossed the line with the picture, not him presenting his son as such, but them share the two children who are underage sharing a kiss together. That's nothing that the public should be seeing. Some people some people don't like public displays of affection. So, that public display of affection to me, it's not something that you should be mad at, but it's something that should be in question. Like, what are you teaching your kids as far as when they're out in the world? Like, some people like showing public displays, some people don't. So, and I know this is kind of right leaning when it comes to it, but you have to be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. This was that kiss was displayed in public on a public platform, and now it has people talking. So one thing I'll say to pass this by is basically, D Wade, next time think about what you're doing before you do it, because you wouldn't come under so much scrutiny. All right. So let's take this down. Nextly, I've been seeing recently that they've been saying in the news about Will and Jada. I know some of y'all are kind of like, well, why are we talking about Will and Jada again? This has been, it's been a month now. This story should be over. Like, why are we still talking about these two? Well, it's because these two basically have been in the news because of their possible divorce. Now, I said a few weeks back that you should only trust what comes out of the people's mouths instead of hearing a source said. Now, with this in the story, it says a source says. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this to you guys, and you guys make up your own mind of what you think is the truth or not. Because me myself personally, I don't believe that they're getting into a divorce over what happened at the Oscars for the simple fact that Will said it out his own mouth. He's never getting divorced. He'll die first. So let's read some of this article. So it says the relationship of married actors Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith has come under scrutiny in recent years. Following Jada Pinkett Smith's remarks about a romantic entanglement with another man and her husband's infamous slap in her defense at the Oscars last month, while rumors have circulated several times that the famous couple was headed for divorce. Both have not given any indication that their marriage will end. Still, Will Smith and his wife have commented several times over the years on their prospect of a divorce. The pair were married in December 1997 when Jada Pinkett Smith was already 2 months pregnant with their first child, Jaden Smith. It was Will Smith's second marriage after his first union with Cherie Zampino. Ended in divorce, a development he once called the worst thing in my adult life on an episode of his wife's Facebook Watch show, The Red Table Talk. The experience appears to have shaped his approach to marriage and divorce. Divorce can be an option. With Jada, I stood up in front of God and said, "Till death do us part," he told MTV News in 2006. So there are two possible outcomes. One, we are going to be together till death, or two, I am dead. Jada Pinkett Smith has expressed similar views. I told Will from the gate, I said, "Let me tell you something. If you marry me, know this: we're going to be together. We're going to be under the same roof." For me personally, I knew that there was no reason that he and I would ever divorce, she said of a conversation before their wedding on a 2018 episode of the Red Table Talk. Now, this self-described commitment to making their marriage work was reportedly not stopped the two from engaging in extramarital relationships. Jada Pinkett Smith has publicly discussed her years-long relationship with musician August Alsina, including during another infamous Red Table Talk episode in July 2020. She said that during a period in which she and Will were temporarily separated, her relationship with Alsina, previously a friendship, grew into a different kind of entanglement. Will Smith revealed during a GQ interview in 2021 that his wife was not the only one who had relationships outside their marriage. This move from monogamy to the less conventional relationship reportedly came after issues that arose from Jada Pinkett Smith's 40th birthday party in 2011, which Will Smith planned for her. He planned it 3 years in advance. So, Will Smith revealed in 2018 that his wife told him the party was the most ridiculous display of his ego, and that he snapped. E! News reported. Now, a lot of all this foolishness here. Let's get to the nooks and crannies of all of this. Let's see. There's nothing she could ever. Okay, well, that's still part of what they're talking about. So basically, what I'm reading to you guys is there's nothing that's being said amongst them that is saying that they're getting a divorce after Will's spout during the whole Oscars deal. From all we know, Will's just chilling somewhere on the island, just doing yoga and all that other craziness. Like, who knows? Like, for all we know, Will's probably the reason why this probably came out because they're also saying that Will has hasn't talked to Jada since the Oscar thing. Well, a day after the Oscars, uh, he did put out a statement of apology, and he also went into rehab that same day. And most of the time with rehabs, they don't allow you to have your own personal cell phone because you're supposed to be there to be reflecting on what you did so you can work through it. But what do we know? What do we know? This story isn't real. I'm letting you guys know right now that they're not getting a divorce anytime soon. So there you have it. So with that said, let's get into some top news of the week. Top news is where I give you guys three personal picks of mine of news stories that I found interesting. The first one is Florida Dunkin employee fatally punched customer over racial slur, gets 2 years of house arrest. Now, this was an interesting. Uh, this was an interesting story that I looked up. I watched a YouTube video of this. I said, well, let me read more into this to see what happened. So here we go, and also have a little video to go along with it. So how about we get into that? Then we'll get into the story.
It turned out to be a killer punch. A 27-year-old worker at a Dunkin' Donuts store took a swing at a 77-year-old customer, hitting him in the jaw.
Tampa police say that Corey Pujols hit the man after he called him a racial slur multiple times. It happened a week ago at the Dunkin' store inside the Marathon gas station just south of the Leroy Selman.
For reference, this happened last year, but the story came out again that he's getting house arrest from this. So this video dates back from last year. So let's keep going.
Expressway. 8 on your side's Nico Clement joins us there live.
Keith, Stacy, just a tragic and awful story. So this all started in the drive-thru, escalated inside the Dunkin' store, and that's when things took a violent turn.
Two good people, just bad situation.
Junior Chappell lives down the street from Dunkin' and the Marathon gas station. He's here just about every day, so he's familiar with people who work inside and some of the customers.
We were shocked when we heard that it happened to him.
Tampa police say a 77-year-old man was in the drive-thru last week. He got upset because he wasn't getting good service. Police say after employees asked him to leave, the man went inside and kept arguing with this man, Corey Pujols. The police report says the man called Pujols a racial slur. When he said the slur again, the police say Pujols punched the man on the jaw. The man fell, hitting his head on the ground. Police say the man died 2 days later in the hospital. Chappell says he knows both men.
Vaughn,
All right, so you get the gist of the story. One thing that they did not put in there that I will read over that I'll tell you now, that during that whole that incident, what's the victim's name? Vonelle Cook. They weren't understanding him, so he then comes inside, has an episode, calls Corey several N-words, and then after that Corey asked one of his co-workers to call the police. After he said that, Cook called him another N-word, and then that's when Corey punched him. So that's really the gist of the story. So let's get into it. One afternoon last May, an irate customer walked into a Tampa Dunkin' Donut shop and began to scream complaints of poor service. A Dunkin' employee, Corey Pujols, asked Vonelle Cook to leave. Cook continued his tirade. He called Pujols the N-word. Pujols, who is black, stepped from behind the counter and warned him not to say it again. Cook, who was white, said it again. Pujols punched him. The blow knocked Cook to the floor where he hit his head. He died 3 days later. Corey was sentenced to 2 years of house arrest after pleading guilty to felony battery and 3 years probation ordered by a Tampa judge on Monday, and to complete 200 hours of community service and attend an anger management course. Tampa police said the incident occurred around 1:30 p.m. May 4th, 2021 at the Dunkin location. According to the court records, the customer, Vonelle Cook, 77, who was white, had gone through the drive-through to order coffee and was angry over the lack of service. While in the drive-through, Dunkin' employee had trouble hearing him, and he started to yell at them about poor service. The employee told Cook, a regular at the establishment, to leave, but he parked his car, walked inside, and was aggressive and verbally abusive toward employees. The prosecutor said. Pujols asked a co-worker to call the police, leading to an argument between him and Cook. Fox 13 Tampa Bay reported when Pujols, who is black, asked Cook to leave. Police said Cook called him a racial slur. Pujols then walked around the counter and asked Cook not to call him the racial slur again. Let's see. An autopsy showed that he suffered a skull fracture and brain contusions. Pujols had intentionally been charged with aggravated manslaughter following the incident. Prosecutors accepted a plea deal from Pujols, who agreed to plead guilty to the lesser charge of felony battery, according to Fox 13. Grayson Cam, a spokesman for Hillsborough State Attorney Andrew Warren, said prosecutors in their decision considered the totality of the circumstances, which included Pujols' lack of criminal history, his youth, and the fact that he did not intend to cause Cook's death. They also considered Cook's behavior, what he said. Two of the primary factors were the aggressive approach the victim took toward the defendant and everyone working with the defendant, and that the victim reportedly used possibly the most aggressive and offensive term in the English language. Cam said, Cook was a registered sex offender. Well, that's news. He was a registered sex offender. Where am I at? Registered sex offender court records show. Pujols stood quietly beside his attorney during a brief court hearing on Monday, wearing a dark suit and a medical mask. He spoke only to answer a few routine questions from the judge, Christine Marluski, I guess that's how you say her name, meant to ensure he understood his guilty plea. His attorney, Darian Johnson, declined to comment afterward. Cook, 77, was a regular customer at the Dunkin, which shared business space with the Circle K convenience store. It was just 1:30 p.m. May 4th that he showed up at the drive-thru line and tried to order coffee. Dunkin' employee had trouble with what he had to say. Then Cook became irate and started berating them about poor service. The employees told Cook to leave. Instead, he parked his car and walked inside the store. Pujols told a co-worker to call the police. Cook approached Cook. Hold on, they got this wrong. Cook approached the counter and continued to argue with Pujols. Okay, so there it goes. Who stood about 6 feet away from him. Let's see. When Cook uttered the N-word, Pujols walked through the door. Hold on. Pujols walked through the door, his hands at his side. He warned him not to repeat it. When Cook did, Pujols slugged him in the jaw. He then moved away from him. No one from Cook's family spoke at the hearing Monday. A registered sex offender, Cook made headlines in 2006 after police raided his home and found surveillance cameras mounted around a bed. Wow. Homemade videos and DVDs and boxes of photographs of nude men and boys, according to the news report. He was accused of using comic books, candy, and video games to lure teenage boys into his home. He used the boys to create pornographic videos, including one in which he recorded himself performing sex acts on a 16-year-old boy. Cook served prison time and was released in 2011. Now, is it messed up to say that is it messed up to say that is great that he's gone? Like, it's no reason that this man should be alive after his past acts of shit. There's no reason. Like, I will say this though. It is messed up that he is dead, but I'm cool that he is, because I hope God made him take a warm vacation somewhere else, away from all the beauty of what they call heaven. I'll show you a quick picture of what this guy looked like. This is what Vonelle Cook looked like. That's a sinister looking dude right there. Now, like I said, it's messed up that he is dead, but at the same time, who can blame me for saying what I just said? It's some people that shouldn't be here on this world, and he's one of them. So, yeah. How about we get into this next top news story of the week? Kim Kardashian gets Roblox experience developer banned after appearance on the Kardashian show. So, Kim, if you guys don't know, is suing Roblox because her son found a ad on his Roblox game of Kim crying, and I'm gonna give you guys some clips of that very thing of what I'm about to speak on. So here we go.
I have all the time, all the money, and all of the resources to burn them all to the ground.
Episode 1 of The Kardashians is full of drama, and we're breaking down the 5 biggest bombshells from the fam's new Hulu series. Starting with Kim's sex tape sequel. The mogul is hit with claims of unreleased footage from her infamous sex tape with Ray J. To make matters even more uncomfortable, Kim finds out about the alleged sex tape when her son Saint sees an ad on an online game.
There was a picture of my cry face, and then I looked at it and it said something super inappropriate, like Kim's new sex tape. This is supposed to be unreleased footage from my old sex tape. The last thing that I want as a mom is for my past to be brought up 20 years later.
Kim is visibly shaken and talks it through with her ex, Kanye West.
And a thing popped up and he started laughing. I was like, Mommy, look. And it was a picture of my cry face. And it said Kim's new sex tape. When you clicked on it, thank God he can't read yet. And it's like, over my dead body, is this gonna happen to me again?
Reminder, Kim has been on a law school journey, so her family and Kanye empower her to take a stand against the threat.
This is not gonna with me. Like, it's not. So I just want it gone.
Bombshell number 2, we find out that Kim's future boyfriend, Pete.
All right. So, as you know, this happened either earlier this year or the end of last year. Kim Kardashian, it was news out that hip hop manager of various rap artists, Whack 100, had the unreleased footage of Kim Kardashian's old sex tape. Now, no one knew if it was true or not. He said he had it on a laptop. He said it also in an interview when he was on Nori's Drink Champs podcast. So, some way or another, Kanye got the laptop that it was on, and he got the footage. I don't know if there's unreleased footage or whatnot, but here we go. Kim Kardashian has a way of drumming up press all the way from shooting into stardom for the tape with Ray J. 20 years later, going to war with a Roblox experience developer over this same sex tape. In the premiere episode of the new show, Kim's son is excited to show his mom something on Roblox. He giggles while bringing an iPad to the 41-year-old mother of four. Unsure of what she was seeing, the child explained it was a game on Roblox. Oh, it's a game. Oh, then we're suing them if it's a game with my name and face. A threat she clearly followed through with, as the Roblox developer behind the game was banned from the platform by the time the show went to air. Talking about her experience surrounding this issue, the multi-billionaire went on to say, "I'm the underdog," before declaring, "I have all the time, all the money, and all the resources to burn them to the effing ground." Explaining in greater detail what the game was advertising, Kim said, "This is supposed to be unreleased footage from my old tape. This is the last thing I want as a mom, for my past to be brought up 20 years later." In response to the issue, parents were concerned about what the children might be getting exposed to on Roblox platform, with one Twitter parent commenting, "Why I will never allow my children to play that game." In a reply to Polygon, a Roblox spokesperson stated, "The referenced video was never available on our platform. We have strict moderation and policies to protect our community, including zero tolerance for sexual content of any kind which violates our community rules." The statement continued, confirming Roblox acted swiftly. The text reference to the tape that got around our filters was quickly taken down and fortunately visible only to an extremely small number of people on the platform. We also swiftly take down the associated experience and ban the community developer involved with the incident. Reactions to the information have ranged from support of the social media moguls, with one user commenting, "Maybe, just maybe, don't allow stuff like this on a platform where kids play," to skepticism around the authenticity of the reaction. Funny how this didn't come out until after the episode aired. It's not like these episodes aired the day it was filmed. She seemed fine, not addressing it until then. Well, check this out. It was a time when people thought that Kanye was going crazy, right? Kanye made a video where everybody thought he was ranting, to the point that people thought he was going crazy when he was having his whole little deal with Kim. This is what Kanye had to say.
Hey, everybody. I just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I know y'all don't respect fathers and the idea of family, and media tries to promote something. I said I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so. And then when people say, oh, they're going to use this for you in court, I didn't have a say-so on whether or not they went to Sierra Canyon. Most men do not. There's no such thing as 50-50 custody with in society today. That's not even, it always leans towards the mom. But right now, and I'm happy. So when we had the Donda 2 release in Miami.
All right. So basically Kanye was saying was that, look, I don't want my kids on these types of platforms because I don't want them being used or exposed to certain things. So was Kanye right now after all of this? Because some people still think that Kanye was wrong for that incident that he had. Well, basically, they think he's going to hell nuts. But if there were strict rules, like he said, on certain things such as the internet and all kinds of other stuff that whatever he deems should be controlled by himself and Kim as parents, why didn't Kim see this coming? Let's continue with the article because, well, matter of fact, no, because I just finished the article. But I will say, isn't this a case of don't do anything in your youth because you don't want it to come back to bite you? This basically came back to bite her act that she did 20 years ago with an old boyfriend. It seems as though that this is still haunting Kim Kardashian. If she would have never did it in the first place, she wouldn't have anything to worry about. But she chose to do this to gain superstardom. Let's say that. I'm not sure if that's why she did it, but let's just say that's why she did it, is to gain superstardom. She saw her friend and whatever Paris Hilton do it, so she was like, well, maybe I should do it so I can gain traction as well, so people can ask who's that girl. But let's look at this. All of their kids are young. They're not even 10 years old yet. And we know how parents are with things like that. And we know how ruthless and how cruel kids are if they find information out like this. So my best bets for them is to keep their kids to themselves, like teach them to be their own best friends, because especially the boys, because being a boy, man, and there's information out like this. All right, let's say you grew up and your mom was very promiscuous, and said parents of these kids knew of that child's mother's promiscuity. Well, let's just say that will be used against the child later on in life. So, whenever his friends or his classmates find out about said tape, they're gonna tease. They're gonna tease him. They probably might tease the girls as well about this. They might do it either to bully or to blackmail. Who knows? What kids are going to be up to within the next couple years. But why is that a father? Why is it that fathers are never taken seriously with situations like this? This is a question that I want to pose to you guys. For someone who wants to protect their kids from certain things like the internet and what goes on there, Kanye wasn't taking seriously because of what he wanted his kids' upbringing to be. In that video, he basically speaks on how he wants to be a good father to his kids, and how what he wants Kim to understand as far as raising them with the whole TikTok business and all that. Like Kanye didn't like the video that was posted that his daughter did. So he then called Kim and told her, "Look, I want you guys to take that down. I don't want my daughter even remotely on social media, for the simple fact that he knows what it does to lives." And he's not wrong. In my personal opinion, he's not wrong of how he feels. To be perfectly honest with you guys, if that Tichina Arnold tweet didn't happen, that's what I would have been reporting. I would have been reporting on this last week. So this is what I want to say on that to close all of this up, because I have one more story. So since this whole second videotape emerged, I think most of us didn't see another Kardashian reality show happening. Because when they went off air, some people was like, well, maybe, they'll get into more social media things. Maybe they might make their own YouTube channel, who knows. But they have a show here on Hulu now, so it's like, who saw that coming? Now this ties up everything that's been going on with the Kardashian clan, as far as pregnancy, new relationships, such so on and so forth. It's just closing up all of this stuff. If y'all watched a better video, if y'all watched the episode, I didn't watch the episode, but if you guys watched the episode, Tristan Thompson looked like Tristan Thompson looked like he was about to get into some deep water, but it come to find out he wasn't involved in anything that was going on. So luckily for him, nothing happened. So yeah, man, like it's just some crazy business going on, and we just have to figure out, what's going on with that. So, before I get into the next story, I have to find. I had a video for it. Did they take it down? They probably took this video down. I'm not sure, but so my next topic is Tasha K. Tasha K goes in. Hold on. I need the exact. Well, this is the exact thing. So I guess I didn't save it. So let me save it. And let me put it in its rightful place where it's supposed to be. And then we can get to this video. So I have timestamps on this, so I have to pay attention to my timestamps. All right, so to get into this, Tasha K reportedly refuses to remove Cardi B videos and could land her potential jail time. All right, so let's get into it.
Get it. How did you get yourself into this situation with Cardi B?
I don't know.
Sister, why?
I mean, protocol is the same. You know, celebrities, you know, they hit their Instagram. I said, sue. So she sued. That's what went down.
But Tasha, I just want to know, honestly, was it worth, you just not taking any of the videos down?
It was. It really was. I mean, here's the thing, because in every situation, there's a lesson, okay? And so my channel was going smooth. We had no problems. You know what I'm saying? And, we're growing. Yes, we got beefs here and there, but for the most part, everything, we have a great relationship with YouTube. And so this, I'm going to be honest with you, everything was smooth sailing. So I thought this would go smooth sailing. But, the universe had otherwise and said no. So, I mean, for the most part, like I said, I wouldn't change anything about, what happened, because I've learned so much as a businesswoman, as a blogger, as a talk show host in the making. And so, yes, I wouldn't have had it any other way.
But girl, was it at the stake of $4 million, Tasha K?
Well, the appellate court ain't ruled on that yet, so we got we got to wait. Listen, and there were so many things, and I've said this before, like, there were so many things that went down in the courtroom that I wish I could talk about that hindered a lot of, the case on both sides. And so that's what this, the appellate court for the 11th court is for. So they review everything to make sure it was good. And, a lot of things that was put in place, you have to abide by the law, of course. And so our case was probably the 4th or 5th defamation case ever in the United States. People don't try defamation. It doesn't make it to court. But I said, we're going to court.
So what it sounds like to me is that this was all a plot that Todd set up some kind of way. No, but this sounds like this was like something that you said, okay, I may not win this case.
Of course.
I may get sued.
So wait a minute. If she knew that she probably wouldn't win, why go through with the situation at all? Only because, this is my personal opinion, only because you wanted to push out slanderous and fallacious stories about somebody you barely know. And here comes that source word again. She says she had sources saying that this is what's going on with Cardi B. Here's medical records of her having said diseases and whatever. But she couldn't prove it. And it showed in court she couldn't prove it. So this basically makes her and the Tasha K brand a bunch of foolishness. So why even think for a minute that you could A, win the case, B, even go up against someone who has more money than you? Look, Cardi B, I say Cardi B's probably has a double digit of millions, which means she has time. Why go through that? Like, it just makes no sense to me. Let's keep going.
But I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to make this work in my favor.
Why are you telling my business? Why are you telling my business? Listen, I need the bottle. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. But this is what I'm saying, sister. So I want to know, so how was your support system during this time? Like,
oh man, amazing. My husband, and here's the thing that a lot of people don't know, is that I when I was pregnant and the case was filed, I said, you know what? If she want the videos down, I'll take them down if it's that bad, because I had a high risk pregnancy. And I didn't want any extra stress. You know what I'm saying? And so, but my husband, he was in the DR enjoying his time, and he said, you know, he heard about what happened. He said, no, put the videos back up, because I did take them down, and we just gonna find some lawyers. And we did that. And so my support system has always been amazing, strong, supportive. And guess what? You know, when we go through things like this, it's life. You know what I'm saying? In life, you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna fail. And so when you fail, is it necessarily you failing if I'm better at what I'm doing? Because this made me better. Imagine if I was bigger, the number would have been bigger. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited. When I tell you, and I say that humbly, I am excited that this happened the way that it did.
People were like, during the whole case and all the hoopla and all the stuff that was going on, people were really trying to get me to speak on it. I didn't say a word. I wanted this to happen.
Oh,
I didn't want to talk about you. I wanted to talk to you.
oh, you played your cards right. A lot of them could have had it. You played your cards. Yeah. I've been telling people, just hit the email.
Yeah, so what do you say to people who would say, like, okay, all of your stories about her were fabricated?
That's absolutely not true. And she knows that. So,
Really?
yes. Including that one. But go ahead.
Because you know the story.
Including that one. But go ahead. Yeah.
Really?
Now, damn, I landed it right on the nose too. That was exactly the point where I was supposed to stop. So, this is one thing I have to say. And I want you guys' opinions on this. So if you're watching, please hit that link, call in real fast, because I want to get you guys' opinion on this. 1 second, I gotta get this second time stamp up. All right, cool. So this is what I want to ask you guys. What was Tasha K's motives of this? Was she trying to gain superstardom? Was she trying to, you know, make someone else look stupid so she looks good? What was the purpose of her going through all this? I don't really see a reason behind why she did what she did. Now I know she's like a trash talking blogger, and she talks about celebrities and stuff like that, and in their daily lives. But was this really purposefully done so she could make Cardi B look stupid? Because in the end, she was made to look stupid for the simple fact that she now owes $4 million. 4 M's. Now, we'll get into this last part of this video, and then we'll get into the article. Then we'll move on to the topic of the night. Let's go.
Lots of people who said that you were on Nicki Minaj's payroll, and that you.
That's something that I said during reporting this. I said during when I watched the show, she was harping on how Cardi B trying to be like Nicki. Nicki's the originator of whatever she's about, and she said she was team Nicki Minaj, because I don't know, but I'm guessing Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had some sort of beef or something. But we gotta look at it like this. During Cardi B's coming into the industry, Nicki was on her way out. She was ready to plan a family, get married, and all this other crazy, and she wanted to take some time off. So, right around that point in time, you had who? You had Cardi B, you had Megan Thee Stallion, and who else? I guess that's it. That basically was trying to take the Nicki Minaj mantle of top top female rapper. But to me, I guess Cardi B was the only target with this, so Tasha K drummed up some fake news and presented it to her followers. And who knows what else she said about Cardi B, but let's keep going.
Did this because you were paid by Nicki Minaj to do this.
The lies. Where is Candy when you need her? The lies. The lies. Nicki don't with lawsuits. She don't with the legal system. You understand what I'm saying? So she's very protective about that. And so she really knew nothing about my case. You know what I'm saying? So
but this was the people were saying, like a lot of people, because of that law.
All right. So basically, they're trying to throw Nicki's name in this, and Nicki has nothing to do with any of this bullshit. So why would they try to pin Nicki as a culprit of what Tasha K did? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. And Nicki Minaj needs to go ahead and call Tasha K while she pays Cardi B and tell Tasha K,
"Give me your fucking money."
So, let's get into the article. So, YouTuber Tasha K reportedly refuses to delete her defamatory videos about Cardi B as ordered by a federal judge. And we're on the federal level on this, and she's refusing to take this video down, which is very stupid, if I may add. So let's keep going. On last Thursday, April 14, 2022, journalist Dennis Byron jumped on his Twitter account to report that Cardi B's attorneys are mounting a legal response to the blogger lady, aka Tasha K, formerly known as Tasha Kibi, because she has not removed the offending videos about the 2019 Grammy Award winning rapper. So Dennis Byron writes, breaking, the blogger lady, aka hashtag Tasha K, defies federal court order by failing to remove defamatory statements about @I am Cardi B, he tweeted. Cardi B, hashtag Cardi B legal teams mounts a response. She is facing possible prison time and financial sanctions. This is a developing story. Byron would later hop on his Instagram live to further explain Tasha K's purported refusal to not take down the Cardi B videos. This is a federal judge's order, and it is very specific. It was a consenting order by mutual parties, he said during the 30-minute IG live session. So at this point, when you violate a judge's order, there are one or more. We violate a judge's order, there are one or two things that could happen. They could throw you in jail. They could fine you. Being thrown in jail is one thing, but then the fine is up to $50,000 and up to a year in jail. What was Tasha K thinking? Back in January, Tasha K, real last name Latasha Kibi, was found guilty of 2 counts of slander plus 1 count of libel and invasion of privacy in Cardi B's 2019 defamation lawsuit against the blogger. According to the court documents obtained by XXL, Kibi was ordered to pay the Up rapper $1.5 million in punitive damages and $1,338,753.47 in litigation expenses. Additionally, she also was ordered to pay for Cardi B's medical expenses, which was reduced from $250,000 to $25,000. making the full amount Tasha has to cough up nearly $3 million. In response, Tasha K posted a video on her YouTube channel, which I had you guys listen to, if you guys remember me reporting on that, called Tasha K's official statement on the machine for bullying her. So Tasha K gets into saying this. These last 4 years fighting this conspiracy case have been extremely challenging. Tasha K began in her 2012 video, her 12-minute video. The verdict handed down on Monday was no shock to myself, my husband, or my legal team. She called bluff against a machine that wanted to bully me for not wavering from my personal beliefs. She continued. A machine that has corporate interests to protect prostitutes, drug use, promiscuity, and to glorify the violence that wreaks havoc in our society and in our neighborhood. The 39-year-old YouTuber vowed to legally fight back and take her case all the way to the Supreme Court, if necessary, in order to seek justice. This is my life, and I will spend my life fighting for my livelihood and our First Amendment right as human beings, she said. Tasha appeared on Fox Soul, the video I just showed you guys, and the episode aired on YouTube on April 15th, 2022. Tasha says she doesn't regret a thing and still stands on everything she said on the show. Well, I'm glad Tasha K feels like that, because for the simple fact that, girl, you about to go to federal jail. And they like making wives out of women in federal jail. So I hope you're ready. Now, who knows if she'll do hard time? She probably won't. So, let's not hope for the best of the situation. But really, what should happen is I think she should be taught a lesson. Judge should go ahead and be like, all right, you doing too much. Let's take your ass into jail. So as well, let's see. Not only is this stupid, she's messing with the legal system. Who knows how they do it, and I don't know myself how they do it in Georgia. But she's messing with the legal system as if she has a foothold in winning anything. Like, she's talking about taking a losing case that she had to federal court, to the Supreme level, the Georgia Supreme Court, to fight for her First Amendment rights. But this is what she fails to realize. Yeah, you have a right to say what you want to say, but it's also your right, if you are defaming somebody's character, is to face the music for what you said about said person. So why is it that she's not getting that through her head there? Because it's painfully obvious that she has nothing to really stand on when it comes to this very thing. She's just going around doing interviews when people want to talk to her about this, and basically spitting in the face of not only the judge, but she's spitting in the face of the legal team and Cardi B herself. Of Cardi B's legal team and Cardi B herself. Of saying, really don't give a damn if I lost. Bitch, I'm gonna be doing this until the day you die. So, Hey man, hold your L, Tasha. Let it be a learning lesson and move on. All right. Because this is my personal thoughts. She should feel stupid to think that she could turn this around in any sort of way. Because if her legal team is mounting up to go back to federal court for her doing something that basically was a court order by a federal judge, that means it's another losing case. And she doesn't see that. She look, she should feel dumb by this point that somebody really is trying to stand with her. Well, people like me who's saying that she should go ahead and take the shit down because in the first place she should have never did the shit in the first place. Like, who cares if you had information on somebody and what type of STIs they had? Okay, well, how does that make your date go by better? By you being married and not having one? Like, I'm not understanding. It's weird. But if she has a fighting chance, then that means she has a puncher's luck of winning this. And if you guys don't know what a puncher's luck means, it basically means this: even the best of fighters can be knocked out. We've seen it happen countless times. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson. We've seen it happen with the best fighters. So she has a fighter's chance, but a puncher's luck. So that's all I'm saying. Because this is basically getting ridiculous. So that concludes today's top news of the week. That was the news. So let's move on to the topic. But before we do that, I'd like to take a quick break before we get into today's topic. Let's space this out a little bit. So if you have something that you want to do within the 5 minutes that I take, please do so. Take that 5 minutes, roll yourself up a blunt, pour yourself a drink if you want to, loosen up a little bit. Also, if you look in the chat, I do have the link to come up here to talk to me about today's topic if you would like. I only have 2 rules to follow when you do that. First rule, you have to be on camera. Second rule, if you don't want to be on camera, when you come here backstage, have your camera on so I can see you. So before you come up here publicly, I know who you are. I know what you look like. You can turn it off as soon as I see you. All right? So that's the only 2 rules I have. So if you don't want to be on camera, make sure your camera's on when you come up backstage. But your camera has to be on. All right? So that's the only 2 rules I have. Like I said, we'll take 5 minutes. We'll take a nice quick break, and we'll be right back. And don't fret. Don't go nowhere, because this is going to be a barn burner. All right? Take 5 minutes. Be back here in 5. Yeah. 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 Showed up on the like I said I was. I'm gonna do it like I do it because I said I does. Like I'm gonna play it. Anyway. Everybody, if you guys are here and you're here for today's topic, I thank you guys for being here. I'll give you a round of applause and a DJ horn because today's topic is probably it's some of my best work. All right, for the simple fact because of this. So last week, if you guys paid attention, I talked about Tichina Arnold's tweet along with Cam Newton's comment on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. So basically, what I said last week is that both of their comments and question and comments sparked controversy amongst genders, mainly within the black community. And Cam Newton's comment really wasn't all that bad. It was basically him stating what he would usually go for, and it's really no argument there because everybody likes what they like. So we really can't fault him for wanting what he wants. With Tichina Arnold's tweet, and I will bring that up on the screen in just a minute. Hold on. You guys don't want to see me now? Alright. So that is her question of what she posed. So this is what I'm gonna do. One second. That's not the one. Is it? Is that the one that's open? That is the one that's open. Alright, I did the wrong one. Okay, here we go. Alright, yeah, I'll just bring it down like that so you guys can see me better. Now, this is the question of what she posed. If you guys can see it, I don't think you guys can. So I'm gonna take the chat down in just a second, and then I closed it again. What am I doing? And I'll enlarge it real fast so you guys can see it better. So here's the question of what she posed. She asks, honest question. What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Not a bad question, right? Not a bad question. So she started getting a whole bunch of backlash. So, I won't read that just yet. And hold on, here we go. So here goes CK Dexter Haven. This is what he had to say. He says, I appreciate the gesture, Miss Arnold, but I don't know if that is your responsibility. In and of itself, emasculation is a subjective construct. Trans women, gay men portray in media, independent black women. None of this emasculates me. My manhood isn't that fragile. Then you have, I don't feel I have done or engaged in that behavior. I'm more concerned about us as black women because we are literally treated worser, which I said last week. Worser is not a word, Miss Solo Dolo. It's treated worse. Alright? So let's read it over with the correct term. I don't feel I have done or engaged in that behavior. I'm more concerned about us as black women because we are literally treated worse than black men. By black men, not all, not even majority, which it's even the majority. Come on, y'all need to learn how to write now. And other races. I appreciate the scope of this tweet, but feels it's tone deaf. Now, she's received countless amounts of these. All right, and on some aspects, people was with her. On some aspects, people were against her question. But this is what's going on. So, beloved actress Tichina Arnold went viral on Twitter after asking what she said was an honest question. Honest question she asked is what can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Perfect question to ask, right? Perfect question to ask, right? No fuss, no muss. Is straightforward. It's to the point. It's asking a great question, right? So Arnold tweeted on last Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. Emasculation, according to the Urban Dictionary, is being made to feel much less of a man through humiliation. An actress and singer, Arnold, 52, has spent much of her life in show business. She started out as a child actor and shot to fame for her role as Pam on the popular 90s cultural classic show Martin. She's also known for her roles as Chris Rock's mom on Everybody Hates Chris and currently plays the wife of Cedric the Entertainer's character on The Neighborhood. It didn't take long for Arnold's tweet to catch fire with many jumping in to voice their opinions on Twitter. Some offered what they deemed to be causes of a solution to the problem, while others asked Arnold why she believed black women aided in the emasculation of black men to begin with. Now, so it's a video that I'm going to show you guys in just a second, right? So one of the people who tweeted this, which this is the video of theirs, or I'm about to show. She says, "Watch this video for starters, because far too many black women have been programmed to care more about the praises of white women than the embrace of black men, and witness and witness what's it that way." I don't know what she means by that. Anyway, accompanying the tweet was a clip of a TikTok video that described a theory gaining popularity that celebrated white feminist Gloria Steinem was a CIA spoof used to cause division in the black community. So here is that video right here. So we're going to play this and we're going to play this and listen. So hold on. You guys can't hear that. I am truly sorry. We will start the video over for the people who cannot hear. All right, let's do it again.
Do you know Gloria Steinem? Here, let me give you a hint. So I was reading an online article to which I came across something that I didn't know about Gloria. It talks about Gloria's new book, My Life on the Road, recounting her life, journeys, and travels, but look at the bottom paragraph. What is often missed or mischaracterized, however, is the work she did as a CIA agent. Steinem was a spook. Confused, I decided to dig a little deeper. Black feminism, the CIA, and Gloria Steinem. What follows is a fact sheet about Gloria Steinem's operations against the various social and political movements in America, particularly her role in creating a hateful and virulent strain of black feminism that attacks black men while partnering with the white establishment. Steinem first came across the radar of black men when she put a book called Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman by Michelle Wallace on the cover of Miss Magazine, which she controlled. Let's read on. The book was written by a black feminist and activist, quote unquote, named Michelle Wallace, who came out of nowhere. She was in her early 20s, yet she was being touted as the leader of black feminism. In the book, Wallace called abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth ugly and stupid for supporting black men. She called black revolutionaries chauvinist macho pigs and advised black women to go it alone. Go it alone? Do it alone? I don't know. But peep what Gloria said. Gloria Steinem said that Wallace's book would define the future of black relationships, and she pushed hard to make sure the book received massive publicity. Define the future of black relationships? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is the so-called black feminist movement was created and manipulated by the CIA from the very beginning. The only difference between black revolutionaries and black feminists on this issue is that black revolutionaries know they were infiltrated and manipulated, but black feminists are still unwilling to admit that they were infiltrated and manipulated, largely because they are highly invested in the hateful brand of black feminism. It is now a central part of the culture of black women, and this fact has led to the destruction of the black revolution and the complete distortion of black relationships. And the CIA had a direct hand in creating this situation. So, black woman, Gloria Steinem, your American journalist, feminist, social political activist, and CIA agent, she was used to cause disunity in the black family through the use of feminism. Remember that book we read earlier, the one on the Black Myth by Michelle? She said that would be the future for black relationships. Nothing positive in that book was written about the black men. They were
All right. So, as we have some sort of reference point of what's going on, let's get back to the tweet. Honest question: what can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men? If you guys look at basically everything, right? Your movies, I don't know what fictional books are like these days, because I don't really read fiction. I read nonfiction and like knowledgeable books. So I don't know what's being what's being spoke on in these fictional books. So if we look at this, and let's take the lady Solo Dolo's take on this, that let me get to her real fast. Miss Solo Dolo says that black women are treated worse than black men. I made this statement last week that it's in no metric is there anywhere where you can see that a black man is treated worse than a black woman. There's no metric that you can basically look at any of the information of what she's trying to say here at all. Because I said last week, men and black men at that, we don't get WIC, we don't get food stamps, we don't get public housing. We don't get any program that is for women for the majority. We don't get them at all. Society sees men as we should be working and making our own path in life. In no way, shape, or form is there any way that you can basically drum up anything to where you're saying that black women are treated worse than black men. That is a lie. Here's why it's a lie. Because if you look at the countless names that we can spew off the top of our heads of who have been killed in this country within the past, coming close to 10 years. They have all been men, with some, if you want to bring out some of the women who have died, but the majority are men and black boys, black men and black boys. So like I said last week, I don't believe a damn word of what she says, and she should basically go back to school and learn how to and learn how to write again. So she Yafa W says, "What about us as black women? Where is the protection and respect for us?" Now, some of the respect of probably what she's speaking on is how hip hop influences a generation. So when I was growing up, basically, you could hear music, the B word, blah 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 blah, such and such, and probably in a way she can point to it in a psychology stance of the music influencing younger generations of how to think, right? But it was a guy, and I forgot his name, and I don't know where his tweet is, but I do remember in a way what his name was. I'm just trying to find it real fast. Because here it goes right here. He has probably the best response. He says, "Okay, so after reading these comments on God from now on, when I see a black woman demanding help from all black men, I'ma ask why we should coddle and infantilize y'all. Obviously, that should be our That shouldn't be our responsibility, since our struggles have nothing to do with y'all, despite contributing to them." Now, I said last week of what someone said when it comes to when you hear black women are the least protected in this country. No. Black children are the least protected in this country. As an adult, you should know how to protect yourself. There's various self-defense courses and gun training that you can take. So there's no excuse. And if you still had the love for the black man, you wouldn't have to go through all this questioning, because you would have someone there protecting you. I'm just saying. So, like I said, this sparked a debate. The debate of which had a lot of people talking, in a sense. This is and you probably can see the emasculation happening right in front of you some of the times. Now, do I believe that women, or black women mostly, aid in this type of activity? It's a possibility. This is why. When a single black mother has a son, what does she usually call him as a nickname? Little man. Why? He's just a boy. Why should he be called little man? Then how do they dress said children? Like young adults. I saw, and I don't even know where to find it at, because I will put it up here. I saw a post earlier this week of a man saying, and I'm guessing it was like a quote of another guy that posted it. of what he was going through. It was a picture of his young daughter dressed like a grown woman, like had on like these like little baby uh uh um leggings, or no, it wasn't leggings. It was like those booty shorts girls wear. And the little girl also had a halter top on. The child had to be no more than maybe like a year or two. And the man said, "I hate it when my baby mother dresses my daughter like this because I don't want my daughter to grow up thinking and being a thought." Now, this is probably a man that was, you know, found a girl, didn't really vet her out that well, and then had a child by the woman. And then he further understood after, when he was either being taken to court for child support or arguing with the woman various times a week about seeing his daughter and stuff like that, that he was in over his head and he should have left well enough alone. But with that, I'd say this. I don't understand why black women can't see the error in their ways. This is why I say this. You don't need to overcompensate for a parent that's not there. That is not your role to try to make a boy into a man. Now, it's also not your job to talk down to a boy while he's in development as an adolescent. Because that right there helps in the aid of emasculating a man. Now, we usually hear, and it's not all, but in certain circumstances, we hear single mothers who are actually in love with the father still, but know that she can't have him anymore. Is that, and here's the beautiful Tichina Arnold. She basically has it to where she talks down about the father in front of the boy. That's emasculation, if you guys don't understand that, black women. By saying a father doesn't do this and doesn't do that while raising the son of said man, like, you gotta understand this. That emasculates not only the father, but emasculates the boy as well, because the boy came from that man's loins. That is his father. So if you're thinking that the father isn't much, then the boy will think that he isn't he isn't as such as well. That's the aiding that's aiding in emasculation. Now, I want to take a quick second, real fast, and get some vape juice for my vape because I just ran out. So I'm gonna take like 2 seconds, and I'll be right back. All right. All right, that is the emasculation of black men. You gotta be more thoughtful of your words when it comes to each other, because the kids are listening. You have to understand that. You have to understand that even if you hear a boy say that he hates his father, that isn't coming from the boy alone. That's coming from various times he's heard his mother say that she hates the father. And the boy then takes on that sentiment as well, and then has it in his mind to where he hates his father. Which you can say, and I said last week, this very thing here. Most of these inner city killings that's been going on, I'll tell you where it comes from. Because when the mother is the only parent in the household, he then takes on the very thing or personality traits of his mother. And in a sense, when that boy is out in the world and he's doing his thug thizzle, he's gonna get into arguments, maybe out in the world with other men. This is how the argument sometimes happens. It's just a whole bunch of shit talk. And then after the shit talk, either some fisticuffs, but nowadays, they're automatically pulling out guns. So, that's a very emasculating thing, because if you ever heard your grandparent or your grandfather speak to another man, or if you ever heard your father talk to another man, you would know that back in their time, niggas did have guns on them, but they resorted to fighting first before they popped a motherfucker. Nowadays, motherfuckers just popping motherfuckers because they take on the emotional baggage of what their mother has. In a look, check this out. In a sense, if a boy is a single, hold on, I'm saying that wrong. If a boy grows up in a single parent household, then the only way in that single parent household is just the mother, then chances are he will take on the emotional baggage of the mother. Now, there's ways he can get away from that, such as going around men that are forthright and take their business seriously as being a father and taking care of a household. If a boy chooses to do that, don't hinder them from doing that. Let's say it's an upstanding man in the neighborhood, and let's say he's already raised his kids and his kids are off, and man's probably around like in his mid to late 50s, and the man's married and he's been married for a while. If a boy sees that and he's drawn to that, you should allow that boy to then, and if it's a friendly neighborhood at that, not that friendly, but I'm saying, like, if the man takes to the boy, he always talks to him, allow that man to teach him manly shit. Allow that man to do that for that boy. He needs it. Don't have it to where don't have it to where he's not, or he doesn't have access to great people as far as men to be around. Don't stop that, because he needs that while growing in his adolescence. Because if you take a boy from boyhood to adulthood and he has no reference of how to be a man, then he's going to go out in the world thinking that the ways of his mother is the right way to be in this society, and he's going to get a rude awakening. Now, anybody who's watching, if you guys want to hit the link that's up at the top of the chat, you can. And if you haven't done so already, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you're new if you can. All right? Now, another tweet of which was said on the topic of tonight. Let me bring it up. Let me bring the question back up, not someone's tweet. So, someone wrote, and I believe I have the picture of this, I believe. Someone writes, our sisters can understand that we're each other's natural counterparts, and there is a clear agenda at work to keep us separate, and black men specifically a weak and prominent underclass. Listening to us is the beginning. Context Media Group founder Torrin Walker chimed in. And I would say, yeah, I would agree with that. Because why are black men the most hated but the most fetishized after? Why is that? I don't understand. I gotta check every so often, see if somebody's back here. I don't understand why this is. Because if people hated us so much, then why is it that they don't, get to where, y'all fill in the blank. Like if we're having mostly every racial class hate us, but at the same time fetishize us. This is something that, and y'all probably surprised that he said this, but Dr. Umar Johnson calls this, what did he say this was? He said this is, hold on. He said this is philophobia. So to put in perspective what I'm talking about, this is black male philophobia. Basically, to have a phobia is to be scared, and to have a what's the word? I'm drawing the blank on what the hell I'm saying. Hold on. If you have a you take a liking to it, so it's a black male philophobia. So let's see. So yeah, basically it's you like us, but you fetishize about us at the same time. So another person writes on here, we as black women are not responsible for the image that black men have created for themselves. I wish people would stop placing their responsibility on us. Look, you know how people say that we're our own worst enemies? This is what they're talking about. We're our own worst enemies for the simple fact that when certain groups of black people, or let's just put this into genders, when certain black men and certain black women don't take up their responsibility for each other, there can be no togetherness, because if the person doesn't see a problem with what you're doing, then that also means that there's no way in the world that they will feel that anything that you're doing isn't wrong. And I'll put this in the air as well. You have to take responsibility for what other people feel should happen, such as this. A lot of people laugh at like the black conscious community for the simple fact that they want all black people to be whole again. There was a certain point in time where we were. They want to get back to that togetherness. People laugh at this. But it's these people who feel as though that we can get back to that way of living because it's for our survival. But some people they don't look at it like that. They look at it as your problems are your problems. Don't put your problems on me. But and I said this a long time ago. I said this, I forgot what show I said this on, but I said this on one of my shows to where I got into an argument with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and she spoke on when she was in college how other black girls would show up to class. She said these black girls would show up in hair bonnets, and we all know the stigma on that of how women feel about that. And they will show up in pajama pants and in slippers and stuff to class. And she was getting upset because she was like, because that reflects on me too. I didn't understand it then. That's the reason why I was arguing with her. I was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. How does how they look make you feel as though that's how people view you? That's how you come outside. And she was like, because I know that's how people will think. The man, so King Kunta, what's up, King Kunta? How you doing? If you want to come up, King Kunta, you can. The link is in the top part of the chat. But I only have 2 rules if you do come up. You have to be on camera, but if you don't want to be on camera, I have to see you on camera on the backstage first, and then you can shut your camera off, and then we can talk. So King Kunta says the demand for stepfathers in the community is very high. Black men, I hope you stand with me if it's accepting our responsibility with a strong arm. You're right. And I'll give you this, King Kunta. If you follow the Black Manosphere, one of their core, well, I won't say it's a core tenet, but it's one of their pet peeves. A black man shouldn't be taking care of another black man's child. Here's the problem with that. Because I just spoke on something that was kind of like that, but not really. But let's get into it. If a father doesn't want anything to do with their child, but then the mother meets another guy that's outstanding, upright, and he he's strong, and she feels as though that he can teach her son valuable things of which the father couldn't or hasn't done, then what's the problem? I would say myself, I haven't married any of the women that I've been with that had kids, but I would say I had a positive effect on them. So Me myself personally, I see stepfatherhood as being probably the second best thing for a child. If the father can't take care of the child, or won't take care of the child, or denies the child. Now I'll hop on another tweet that someone wrote. So Torrin Walker says, I read that already. So one person in response of the Torrin Walker comment says, I'm scrolling through the comments and I wonder if some of these women have sons? Question mark. If you don't think there isn't agenda against keeping us apart, what other race have this conversation on here every month? Every other race sticks to the code. And he's right. Hey, and King Kunta also says, I'm a proud stepdaddy of 5. That's a pretty amazing feat, homie. Taking care of 5. Now, yo, King Kunta, if you want to come up, come up. Let's talk. I'm talking about the Tichina Arnold tweet again. She wrote another tweet of another question that she asked black women, and I will be getting to that later on. But let's stick on topic. But King Kunta, I would love for you if you come up. The link is right there at the top of the chat. It hasn't moved yet, so go ahead, hit that link, homie. Hit the link. So, I'd also say this. I also say this to this person, Hello Bad Mind, who just wrote who wrote that comment that I just said. Not King Kunta's, but the this Twitter comment I'm looking at. Yes, other races are on code. They don't go away from that code. And look, this is probably a code that Mexicans probably go by. In public, don't speak English. Speak Spanish. Because we don't want anybody else to know what the hell we're talking about. That's probably something that they do. Who knows? But if you go places, you usually hear most of the time Spanish speaking people speaking Spanish in public. And that's for cultural reasons. That's not because they hate Americans and they don't want us knowing what they're talking about. It's cultural reasons behind that. What are black people's cultural reasonings for not wanting to come together? What is it that is so bad that we can't come together as well, have some sort of dialogue of what's the code of when we're out in public? What's the code of what we should do when engaging with each other in public or at all? Black people are probably the only people who don't have that sort of cultural code. The only cultural code we have is snitches get stitches. Don't talk to the police, and that's about it. That's our only cultural codes that we have, and it's sad. It's sad as hell. Now, I'll take that question down for now. And anyone who is, sitting up here, the link is in the top. So hit the link if you want to talk to the host. Because I'll love to talk about this with you guys. Um, as well, check this out. With this whole Will Smith thing and people saying that Will Smith is being emasculated by Jada and because of her speaking about their marriage and stuff like that on the talk show and what have you. There's another couple that is making headlines, and this is and they have a book coming out as well. DJ Envy and his wife Gia speak on their bedroom life. And this is what they had to say.
And I'm sure so many women can relate. Like, you want to reward that man for that work. And the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But even if I didn't feel it, I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it.
We got into like a argument, and then she was like, well, I don't be having an orgasm. She didn't say it in that. She speaks way more eloquent than I would have. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't. I'm like, no, yes, you do. I hear it. Like, yeah, and then she was like, no, I'm faking it. I'm like, every time? And she was like, yeah. And then that just crushed me because I thought I was putting in work. Like, I'm sitting there thinking I'm, Big Daddy Long Leg.
Now, I'm not going to be disrespectful when I talk about DJ Envy and his wife, because DJ Envy likes to fight, as you can see when he was interviewing Desus and Mero. So, although DJ Envy don't want to smoke over here, but I'm just saying, I won't say nothing disrespectful. I'll just say this. This is a common thing of what happens in black relationships. You don't respect me to the point to where you'll tell our business in public. Now, although DJ Envy had a stint to where probably after he heard that, he probably was doing it way beforehand. He cheated on his wife. He cheated on his wife for the reason of this. He cheated on his wife because his wife told him that she wasn't being satisfied in the bedroom. And this is what they had to say, or this is what the article has to say. Communication is essential in any relationship, and that's especially true in the bedroom. After all, if you don't have good sexual communication, you could end up faking orgasms for 10 years. Just ask DJ Envy's wife, Gia Casey. The Breakfast Club host and his wife are bearing all in a new book titled Real Life, Real Love. Life Lessons on Joy, Pain, and the Magic That Holds Us Together, which was released on April 19th in an interview with The Shade Room. About the book's release, the couple discuss a particular chapter titled Faking It in a Real Relationship. In that portion of the book, the couple reveals the fact that Casey faked orgasms for a full decade of the couple's relationship. Now, DJ Envy, I have a question. Who was she having orgasms with then? Because I would say no woman goes 10 years with being unsatisfied. I can tell you that right now. Ask Jada Pinkett Smith. But anyway, no woman will take what is going on with her situation and spend a full decade dealing with it. Like, I never heard of such. Now let's say DJ Envy's wife is a woman that doesn't believe in extramarital affairs, so maybe she used toys. But by a scientific standard, if she is using toys, then that will numb the sensation down there. So she wasn't getting orgasms and she was using toys on top of it. That's why. Now, DJ Envy and Casey, who are high school sweethearts and married 2 decades ago, said the revelation happened 10 years into their relationship. Casey says that her husband was doing everything a man could do to please her, but ultimately she didn't know her own body to communicate her physical needs during sex. Ultimately, this unsatisfying conversation came up at the worst time possible, during an argument while being intimate. We got into an argument, she said, and she was like, well, you know, I don't be, hold on. Somebody can't, right? During an argument while being intimate, we got into an argument, and she was like, well, you know, I don't be having an orgasm. DJ Envy said during the interview, she didn't say it like that. She speaks way more eloquent than I would ever. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't. And I was like, no, yes you do. I hear it. He adds, she was like, I'm faking it. I'm like every time. And she was like, yeah, if you think that would be a blast to an ego, you'd be right. DJ Envy said the revelation crushed him. It hurt me because I thought I was pleasing my wife, he said. You hear all those stories about women talking to their girlfriends like, oh girl, he was so short, oh girl, he ain't doing nothing. And I feel like they let, hold on. DJ Envy needs to learn how to speak. And I feel like they laughing. And now I feel like that's what my wife is doing. Casey says she was that she weaponized the fact that she wasn't sexually satisfied during their argument to hurt Envy, adding that she believes it's part of why her husband was famously unfaithful in their marriage. In 2012, DJ Envy admitted to cheating on his wife after she found a blog by a woman who alleged she had an affair with the radio personality. DJ Envy's infidelity accumulated in a very public cheating scandal with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Erica Mena back in 2018. Me doing that was very detrimental, and it put into effect the fall of a series of dominoes that hurt our relationship in the absolute worst way. Casey said in the interview, it was actually one of the reasons why he cheated. Needless to say, there is a lot to unpack here, and that's only one chapter of the couple's book. Good luck, readers. Now, if y'all don't think that's emasculating for a man to hear his woman say to him, you don't please me in the bedroom, now let's be honest. Sex probably takes up 50% of the relationship. And then you have other factors in there, such as money, stability, and stuff like that. But all of that takes a back seat to sex when in a relationship. If a man isn't pleasing his woman, nowadays the woman cheats, but let's look at it from the standpoint of this. If a male's ego gets destroyed by his wife, or let's just put it in clear terms. Let's say that let's say the girlfriend, let's not say wife, let's say girlfriend. Let's say you were just like in DJ Envy's case where he thought he was putting it down, but then you find out that you're not. The emasculating part not only is hearing that you're not satisfying me, but it's being able to perform again for either that person or anyone else. That's where you get that's where the man gets emasculated at, for the simple fact that he doesn't know, nor can he factor in if he's doing a good job or not, which is messed up, really, because like he said, you could be putting in your best work, you thinking that you blowing that back out when you was just really just tickling her stomach. And it's real, and it's detrimental for the simple fact because you don't want to hear that as a man. Like, although it should be said most of the time, but you don't want to hear that as a man. Like, it just, like, it'll make you feel as if you're less than. Because men look at, if they don't have enough money, they're less than. If some men think if they're not stable mentally and financially and stuff like that, that they're less than. And some men think if they're not as adequate in the bed, that they're less than. And as a dude, and women know men have egos. I have one myself. I'm very humble with my ego, but at the same time, it's like this. Telling a man that it's like throwing a grenade. You don't want that person to feel as though you threw the grenade in the foxhole. Now, to get to some more tweets that was said. This guy, I don't know if he's probably buried somewhere in there, but this guy that I'm looking at on my screen here, he writes. His name is Slank at Dab Squad _Slank. He says, false. Black men were emasculated during slavery and Jim Crow. Most lynchings involve castration. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X both talked about this. Dr. Tommy Curry's book, The Man Not, has plenty of examples. I don't believe I read that book at all, but anyway, another tweet comes from a girl named Adrian. She says, define emasculation and give an example because I can't connect where black women factor into this equation. Well, I gave points of where you guys factor into the equation. So no need to go back over it. But Hotep Juggernaut says, I believe Hotep Juggernaut is a part of the Hoteps. Not the Hoteps, but a Hotep group that I know of. He says, or men in general, I feel like there's a conceited effort to make men who are mainly the bad guys, such as toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity isn't what people think it is. Toxic masculinity is nothing but masculinity within itself. Toxic masculinity basically makes being a man a bad thing. And that shouldn't be the case. What should be the case is this. If men are outwardly being disrespectful, that should be the reasoning of that should be the reasoning of. I just forgot my thought that damn fast. Where was I at? Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity. So, um, toxic masculinity is just men being men. That's all that it is. Antisocial Butterfly says, "I'm truly concerned about this question because it's basically saying that we're responsible for black men and their feelings, which is giving them more of a reason to put that responsibility on us. And I ain't responsible for anybody but myself and my children." Well, that's good for you, Antisocial Butterfly. Okay. I think that's the one I just read. Yes, I did. So Tanaya says, first our minds have to be reprogrammed from the acceptance of emasculation of our black men that the white slave owners installed in each of us, which caused a divide in our race from the start. Once we retain our minds to understand how important and essential our black man's role as a provider, husband, father, etc., and support him with positivity reinforcements, love, unity, and prayer, and he is turn and he in turn reciprocates it toward us as well, is how we gradually change the negative efforts that was generated from the beginning. This is my opinion to affect change. And that's beautiful. That is beautiful. New Fly G says, when the focus is on black men, we are told to figure it out ourselves. Read the comments. By black women, which I have no problem with, but we can't yell that and in the same capacity yell protect black women. Mainly speaking to directly mainly speaking to directly to black men, lol. It's confusing. Either we need each other or we don't. Which is true. Like, you'll see in her next tweet. Hold on, y'all. All right, so a lot of these tweets on here is basically telling black men to figure it out yourself, because, like I said earlier, if we don't take responsibility for each other, there's no reason to even be talking. Like, if you don't feel as and this is just my personal opinion, if you don't feel that you're responsible for the male influence in your community, then why are you talking at all? You should just shut up. You should basically have no reason to speak on an incident of which your gender is the main cause of. Now let that sink in for a minute. Y'all won't outwardly say, I see the error in our ways, and I want to be one of the ones to affect change. It's never that. It's always figure it out for yourself. We're not responsible for you. So, Mayonnaise says black women are getting over asking for protection from black men. That was 5 years we started to understand it's never gonna happen. Should I? No, I don't really should show the replies. So Lizzie Nova, some white woman says the black community. Well, no, she's white. I'm just saying that. The black community has to collectively decide to free themselves from unrealistic standards of gender performance, especially when it's based in Eurocentric standards. If you are forced to perform something that wasn't made for you and made in opposition to you, opt out. And I would agree with that. That's the whole reason why. That's the whole reason why us as black people are having such a bad go at this life thing, for the simple fact that we only want Eurocentric standards of living, Eurocentric standards of performing, Eurocentric standards of obtaining things. Like, we have to get out of the mindset of which the country that you live in gives you. The standard of beauty for years was a skinny, tall white woman that's shaped like a 13-year-old boy. Like who made that a standard? As you see now, the standard is a very shapely woman that has all of her curves and no flaws. Although they have flaws, but flaw in their body, just their body. Now, how did that standard happen? Well, a lot of people, mainly white men, like back in the day, saw a voluptuous black woman and says, I gotta have that. But some of them don't want to obtain the black woman themselves, so they look to their woman like, well, I want you to start looking more like the black woman. As you see now, there's a lot of voluptuous, shapely white women out here now. Lizzie Nova also says whether or not the emasculation of black men is a real issue, it's not the responsibility of black women to fix it, but for black men who feel they experience such to do the individual work to feel secure in themselves and their identity, so that it's not fragile enough to be threatened by arbitrary factors. But Lizzie Nova, check this out. Is it systemic that this happens to only black men? Because I spoke on last week. Our first, well, I won't say first, but if we're looking at it from like a god complex type of thing, in our first Marvel movie, the Eternals, one of the powerful people in this movie, a black man, which his name was Phastos, I believe. He was super smart. He was a scientist, but he was also gay. Now, to a young boy, I would say this because a young boy probably wouldn't catch on, but his subconscious is catching on. A young boy sees a black man, a smart, strong black man that's smart. He invents things, stuff like that. That's just what the child mind is processing. This character's smart. He's strong. He creates things. I like to create things too. But then you get to the scene to where, he's playing with his son. But then you see that there's another man there. The child mind can't pick what that is up. And then later on in that sequence, you see both men kissing. Emasculating or emasculation of black males. Now, Adrian Expression says this: what has masculinity done for black women for y'all to keep trying to hold on to these archaic, tired, destructive versions of it? Laughing my ass off because it even destroys men. I want an answer quickly. I don't even know what the fuck that meant. Here's Adrian's question of what I just read off. Tichina, thank you for starting a conversation that needs to be discussed. As a conscious brother who loves his sisters, and I am in the majority regardless of the prevailing narrative, firstly, watching and supporting television shows like The First 48, Snapped, and other shows, and I'll say them, Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives. That's about it. Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives are probably the top shows in the black community that are watched. Well, what do you see on these shows? Women emasculating men, men disrespecting black women. It's some funny boys in the shows now. Not funny as in ha funny, but funny as in you fill in the blank. And what are you presenting? Like, what are you presenting to the world? I don't understand. Snap probably was the most watched show, probably in like a female black woman's perspective. Well, not in a female woman's perspective, but in as a group, black women watch Snapped a lot. Then Love and Hip Hop came. Snapped is probably the second watched show probably in the female black community, probably. Love and Hip Hop being its first. And we have to look at Love and Hip Hop as a whole. What is Love and Hip Hop? Well, there's not so much love and there's not so much hip hop in it. So we don't really have love or hip hop in it. And usually, most of the time, it's a couple that's stable, but they just, presenting their undealt with situations on camera. Then you also have this. What do the women usually do on there? They yell and fight. Okay. After they yell and fight, usually you hear within that group of women, one of their men is cheating on them. So there's really no substance to this. And then the women get to berate all of the men on there. It's just ridiculous. So thanks, Roger, for that. Mark X Samuels says, just in case y'all are wondering what agenda folks are talking about, according accounts like these popping up super regularly out of nowhere. They are just dedicated to bashing black men online and sowing dissent, and they gain traction fast. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know how y'all don't see that as odd. So let's see what he posted. Simping for Becky. I'm actually a gay biracial man who is an ally to black women because I see what bullshit they have to put up with dealing with you knick-knocks. Nice try, though. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. That's crazy. He says, "Oh, this is a white man troll account." For a second, I thought that, there was a black woman here. Oh, that's crazy. So, Phoenix Robes says that's not our responsibility, especially when the rates of femicide in the United States is astounding. The majority of women killed or gone missing are black women, and a large number of these women are harmed by men we know. So I think other concerns take precedent for us. I just want Phoenix to know, if y'all say a black woman is killed every 5.5 hours, that's not a big number of women that's being killed. I put up on screen how many black men are in America. Is somewhere around the number of what was it 13 million or something like that? Let's see. It should pop up. It's right there. 19.9 million of black men that are here in America since 2019. So we can shave off a few because of who was killed within that time frame, but 19.9. So we're looking at a number as small as somewhere in the thousands, lady. Although for some people that's a big number, but if we're looking at black men, we're looking at a small number of black men who are going to that's participating in femicide, or let's just call it black femicide, then the number is very minuscule. I'm not putting that number down, but the number is very small. It's like somewhere within the thousands. Now, which is an even better question, how did I present that question? Let's see. Let's flip that to black women. Let's see. Not really giving me any good information. Let's see. Percentage of total women in the U.S. population, 12.9. So how much would that be if we're talking numbers? Man, they don't give any sort of metric like was shown for black men. That's weird. Just check that out. I asked a question to Google and they give me a number immediately. Since 2019, 19.9 million black men in America. Right? So let's go to women again. They give you this. But still, it stands of what I said. The number's small. Now, let's go through these. Stop allowing Caribbean and African women to lead the conversation about black men. We have noticed that a great majority of women leading the anti-black man conversation are foreign black women who are angry their men are in the U.S. not choosing them. Same with LGBTQ women. I did not know that. Black women birth black men. We are connected. These comments only demonstrate deep pain and trauma. Community healing and honesty will aid in the preventing the emasculation of black men. As their mothers, of course, we have some responsibility, just like black men have a role in our pain and trauma. See, there we go, right there. Someone who understands. And this person agrees. I ain't gotta read what he says. He just agrees. Give black kings more Rochelle Rocks and Pamela James and less City Girls. Goddamn right. But who the hell is Shay Fields though? Some white dude. Let's see. Judging from these comments, I don't think black men or black women want each other anymore. It really just comes down to accountability on both ends, I guess. I don't know anymore. A simple question came down to all this negativity. But y'all gonna see what she says later on with her second question, which garnered a different response and had no traction. So, now some people, I'll jump into this now. Some people will think that this of what I'm about to show you guys was a black man emasculating himself, but it's not. It's a black man telling you guys the truth of how he feels about what he did during his marriage, and that person is Shaquille O'Neal. Check this out.
With a divorce, you controlled your life forever. You can't control that. No, I couldn't.
It's
was
two
bad.
people that involved in the divorce. Bro.
Yeah, but no, I never talked about this. I'm glad you guys are asking because I don't mind talking about that. But I was bad. She was awesome. She really was. It was all me. I was just look. We don't need to talk about what I was doing, but I wasn't protecting her and protecting those vows. So sometimes when you live that double life, you get caught up in. So I'm not gonna say it was her. It was all me because she was. Look, she did exactly what you're supposed to do. Gave me beautiful kids, take care of the house, take care of corporate stuff. It was just all me. Sometimes when you make a lot of mistakes like that, you can't really come back from that. But as I get older and dwell on situations, I can honestly say it was all me.
Are there things from that time you would change? And do you believe if you changed them, you'd still like to be married, or you still like to be in that position where you could be with your kids and, like Channing said, could control those type of things?
The best feeling for me was coming home and hearing 5-6 different voices. Don't matter if I missed 15 free throws and we lost, they don't care about that. Dog Man's home. Like I used to play something called Dog Man. As soon as I come in, I turn into a wild dog and I chase him and bite him. I just used to like get him and act like I'm biting him. And
Dog Man.
Yeah, and they used to love that. And look, I was just being greedy. I had the perfect situation. Wife was finer than a mug.
Mm-hmm.
Kept giving me babies, still finer than a mug. I had it all. Just sometimes and I don't make excuses. I know I messed up. And then, when I didn't have that, I don't like to use the D word because I don't really know what it is, but I was lost. 76,000 square foot house by yourself. Lost. No kids. Go to the gym. Nobody's playing in the gym. You go to their room. Nobody's there. You start to feel it, but I said to myself, okay, you're not married, but you still have to protect and provide for this family. Get your ass up, man up, let's go. What you gonna do next? Because, may not be a husband, but I'm always be a father. And the father's job is to protect, provide, and love. I have two, I don't like to use the term baby mamas, I have two wonderful women that have given me beautiful, gorgeous children. I have to protect and I have to provide and I have to love for them forever. That's why I work so hard. I don't work for me, I got it all. I gotta work for them, I gotta work for my 6 babies.
Now that's beautiful. A black man who actually admitted to his faults. All we're asking is for black women to do the same. Now, few have came out on with their Twitter comments, basically saying, yes, I feel as though that us as black women do have an issue with emasculating black men, and they want to be the change of which, and they want to be able to stop the emasculation of black men. But it's a lot of finger pointing going on other ends as well, because certain black women don't feel that it's their responsibility to help black men but they don't feel as though it's their responsibility to stop the aid of black men, or stopping in the aid of emasculating black men. Sorry. Man, look. Let's do this. Let's read this article, and then we'll get to Tichina Arnold's second tweet, of which nobody's talking about. Shaquille O'Neal and his ex-wife Shawnee O'Neal are the perfect example of what co-parenting should be. But before I even continue with this article, look at what he said. I had the perfect life. Fine ass wife that's still fine than a motherfucker. Gave me 4 kids. And I love coming home and hearing 6 other voices. Nigga, you gotta be out your goddamn mind if you think that Shaq is simping for a woman that he doesn't have anymore. He's actually thinking, why the fuck did I do what I did to this woman? I had the world. She took care of all of my corporate shit. She made sure the house was in order. She made sure that I was straight. All while I'm out playing ball and fucking hoes after the games. Well, we only know that because Kobe said it. May he rest in peace. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is this. I hope the black manosphere is watching this shit. This is what we call a revelation. This is so much of a revelation that, and even DJ Envy speaks on this as well, because he has the same circumstances. Fine ass wife, wife that gave him 4 kids, which I believe they have 5 now. Perfect. Well, won't say perfect wife, but he has a good life. Provides for his family, protects his family. But he was out cheating on his wife because of whatever reason. But there's 2 men so far that's spoken on here who has came to this revelation about they should be protecting their family. Providing for their family, not getting into extramarital fuck shit. Now, I can't make her name out because it's in cursive. I know how to read cursive, but I can't really make out. Sherelle, I guess her name is, says, we do well to start praising and encouraging our brothers for all of the good they do. Show them that despite how difficult society makes it for them, that we, their counterparts, are grateful for them and we've got their backs. We should make ourselves available to them. Regardless of whether we know them or not, just be there to give an ear to their outcries and their issues with a society that would rather see them dead, imprisoned, or laying with men. There's no independent woman who can manage properly without a man. We need you, black man. And that's beautiful as well. You guys didn't see that, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a lot of black women that's on here that's talking like this. So with all the negativity and with all of the foolishness that most of these women had to say, so Tichina came back, and after all that, let me bring up this tweet first. She says this right at the end of all of it. Well, it's not really the end, but she commented during so. So she basically says, still reading comments. Two thoughts. Despite all, I will never be fearful of asking anyone questions. Too, the black man and woman need to heal together. We are up against a plethora of odds that are continually stacked against us, but it won't change my love for all of us. That was beautiful as well, right? And then she kept getting bullshit comments. But then she asks this question. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I wasn't supposed to go back. Okay, that's the wrong one. Hold on, I got it. It's right here. It's right here. Here it goes. And this just got some likes and some retweets and shit. So, she writes, okay, final question, and I'm done. What can black men in America do to protect the black woman in America? This is what they had to say. So, Dr. Boyce Watkins, if you guys don't know who Dr. Boyce Watkins are, you must live underneath a rock. So he says, stand up to the black men who are consistently disrespecting black women as a collective. It's okay to critique one individual, but when you get to bashing an entire group, that's reflective of significant self-hatred. So Turin Walker writes, we join with black women to build stable families and communities. For that to happen, we need a major reset of our economic mindset and what we value as culture, physical, defend what we build, and remove skinfolk opportunists who move Trojan horse agendas into these plans. Tamora Shafir Muhammad says, "Our women are suffering, and the black man in our mind should look first toward his own. I find that the black woman is much more committed to the black man than it appears we are to her. Most of our women that I know are hurt by us, yet they still hold on to us." Angry Black Man writes. You guys can't see that well. So bring it into focus a little bit more. There we go. All right. Well, it's simple. Marry them. But of course, many black women will find issue with that because many black women rely on state. So Yafa W says this proves my previous point. See how quiet it is in your response when you ask this question. Make it make sense. So Just Eve says black men already protect us, even the ones who don't deserve their protection. We need to do better. And here's another one. Realize that everyone wants to be us, so we are a prize. Realize we are put down because others see our worth. It's supposed to be worth, but anyway. White women wear weaves. White men don't talk about them. White women get lots of plastic surgery. White men don't talk about. All because the white woken are trying to look. I don't understand one word they just said. Stop acting like black women are the problem. Elgin Jackson writes this. Stop acting like black women are the problem. Black women have it rough just like us black men. We need to show black women they are our partner, not our opponent. I understand what he says, but he wasn't paying attention to what he was writing. So basically, this is what he's saying. He's basically stating that since both us black men and black women have the same issues at hand, and we all have it rough in this country, we should try to be each other's counterpart. You know, each other's partner and try to see us as who we are instead of being opposed of who we are. I'm guessing that's what he means by that. So Music Diva says, before our black men can do anything, they first need to go back to our roots and make God and family the priority. Black family were rooted in faith. As the black man left God, everything fell apart slowly. No, it wasn't that black men left God. We left that bullshit ass preacher alone. We always had God. We just wasn't fucking with that bullshit ass preacher. So how do we disconnect from that? We stopped going to the church. It's not that we left God. We always had God. We weren't messing with the preacher that always wanted the collection plate being passed around. Why is it that I'm working 50 to 60 hours a week, but I'm seeing a man every Sunday roll up in a Rolls Royce, a BMW, a Mercedes, a Maybach Mercedes at that. What have you? He has on $1,000 suit. Like, why is it that I'm working so many hours a week? He's asking me to pile in the collection plate for his wrongdoings or what he wants to do, and usually most of the time we see this motherfucker out with strippers and shit like that, and he's backsliding and all this other foolishness. Why isn't it that I have those things as well? We stopped going to church because church started being a fucking hustle in the black community. It started being a hustle. I don't care how you toss it. Once it became a hustle, we was like, we ain't about to do all that. We ain't about to be coming to this church, allowing this person to hustle us. Now, I know I never finished this Shaq story, but basically it says in the story that he went on to the Pivot podcast, talked about how awesome Shawnee was to him, and he basically regrets everything that he did. That's basically what the gist of the article is. So, we're basically looking, at these tweets. You know what I'm saying? And to Music Diva's comment, like it's like this. Faith is this, baby girl, and and it falls like this as well. Your Bible states God comes first, then the husband, then the wife, and then the children. So if you look at that, mainly it's stating that since God comes first, then the man is supposed to tell you about the goodness of God, not your preacher down at the church. But some people fail to know that. But it's in your Bible. Let's keep going. I'm not even gonna attempt to say her name, but Mimi writes, by learning to love, respect, and protect themselves first. I think self-responsibility is necessary, and maybe the question should have been, how can black men prevent their own emasculation, and how can black women protect themselves? And she totally missed the question. But as y'all can see, this didn't garner any sort of like big write up in a publication or nothing. So Tichina Arnold, no, that's not important what she said. So hold on. So Ken Leverett says nothing. You can't protect that which has no desire to be protected. Most black women today claim that they don't need a man. This in itself makes it difficult. Black men are natural protectors. Not enough emphasis is placed on that alone. And I would agree. You can't protect what doesn't want to be protected. I do believe that. And this is why. That's like calling yourself a security guard for a fully secured building. Basically, you're volunteering to protect a building that's already protected by security. That's basically what that says. It's ridiculous. Miss Socialite says black women want protection from criticism, no matter how true. Complain about ratchetry, obesity, single motherhood, weave, support of the LGBT attitude, or anything that makes black women undesirable to anyone. They want protection. If black women are doing better than black men, what protection do they need? I'm gonna leave that right there, because basically, if you look at it like this, they say black women. Now y'all might be saying, who's they? Statistics. So they say that there are more black women in college than black men, but they never tell you how many of those black women graduate. They never tell you that question, or they never tell you that answer. But you have to look at it like this: there's more women on this earth than there is men, so that number will lean a little bit. Like, it will be more women in college than men, for the simple fact that there's more women on this earth than there is men. So you have to factor that in as well. But the reason, and I'll give a reason of why black men complain about some of the things that she spoke on, such as ratchetry, obesity, and single motherhood, and weave, and attitude. So two of them share the same space, and that's ratchetry and attitude. Well, really three if you factor in the single motherhood, but I'll get to that in a second. So men in general don't want a woman that has a bad attitude whatsoever. This is why. Because your attitude reflects your upbringing, and we don't want anybody that is torn about anything to have it then come on us as if we're the reason for that. Now, I don't know if I ever said this before, but I dated a feminist. And within her feminist ways, I felt like I was being blamed for shit that I never did to her. Like, and plus we wasn't even together that long. But I felt like I was being blamed for things that I didn't have anything to do with. And that was an attitude problem to me. And I basically would ask her when she would have her little spouts in our arguments, who hurt you? Who hurt you to the point to where I'm being blamed for things that I know nothing about? Now, some people will say, well, Marcus, that was a bad question to ask because you have to treat situations like that like an onion. You have to peel back the layers bit by bit. Yeah. But if you take a knife to an onion, you can get straight to the core fast. So that's all I did. I just took the knife to her attitude. Look, who did this to you? Because I don't want to be blamed for a situation that I have nothing to do with, nor do I want a stigma that you carry to affect our relationship. Which, with that type of attitude, hating your father and all of that, such so on and so forth, as her daughters had that attitude problem towards their father. I don't know what their father did, but they had a hatred for their father. Now, let's talk about the ratchetry of that. And I love how she tried to make ratchet a prestigious word. So, so with that attitude, most women start to act ratchet, which is a turn off as well. Because one thing I hate a woman to do is loud talk, act out of character. Basically, I don't like ghetto bitches. I'll say that right now. I don't like ghetto bitches. Ghetto bitches just their conversation alone turns me off. With their ratchetry, most of them are single mothers that wear a weave. And this is the thing, and I'll tell you guys who started the whole natural hair movement. It was Dr. Umar Johnson. I'll tell you all that right now. Dr. Umar Johnson started the black woman's natural hair movement. All the women who did the big chop back in, I think that started back in 2015, I believe. All the black women who started chopping all their hair off, or they went bald so they could start fresh after years of getting weave and perms and stuff in their hair, and they just said, the hell with it, I'll cut it all off and start over. It was Dr. Umar Johnson that helped push forth the black woman's natural hair movement. That's why it's a lot of black women now who can attest to when they took the journey. I'll use Jada Pinkett Smith's words. When they took the journey of doing the big chop so they could get their natural black hair back. They basically say that it was basically their best experience, not having to go through and sit through countless painful hours on their heads and their asses by sitting in a salon chair getting their hair done, not having to sit through the pain of a perm, which, if you guys watched Chris Rock's Good Hair documentary, you will know that it was a scientist that basically said why are people putting and I forgot the chemical compound's name, but he basically said, why are people putting this in their heads? And then he did a demonstration of how powerful of an acid this that the chemical that perm is made of does to things. And one of those things was an aluminum can. It melted the aluminum can. So although some men don't give it, some black men don't care that their woman puts weave in their hair or whatever. But also in that documentary, you you would know that it was a discussion at a barbershop where a black man said he would most rather date a black no, he much rather date a white woman than a black woman. For the only simple fact is that he can run his hands through the white woman's hair next to a black woman's hair. He says a black woman can't even touch their hair. If you're as touchy-feely as me, I like rubbing heads. You know what I'm saying? If you're just having a nice quiet night in, we're not expecting to do the deal, you know what I'm saying? I'll put you to sleep by rubbing your head. I give you the best head rub. Now, Jada Pinkett's head, I'll put her to sleep in a matter of 10 seconds. I'm fucking around. Anyway, so how long have I been on so I can end this? Alright, so it's almost time for me to go. I didn't get anybody up here, so whatever. Y'all just hit the link if y'all want to come up. If not, then I'll end it here. And I'll end it by saying this. Tichina Arnold's tweets will spark conversation amongst black men and black women for years to come. For the simple fact of this. Let me read what I actually wrote. For years to come, because of the divided front that we are on. It's sad to say that questions like these could at least start the conversation so it can create a discourse about our differences and see what our similarities are. But with the black manosphere and the black female divestment movement among us, this might be an obstacle because of the feminist views and over macho demeanor that they give off. A call to action has been asked by Tichina and others in recent years and in history. So what is the big deal with black people not being able to get along? So sorry. sorry. Whew. All right, here we go. So I'll say that is it systematic or systemic reasons, but I'll call bullshit. I like to think that it's more to the story. What has happened in recent years that black women have gotten so masculine and have put the black man aside to define herself or to go off and to venture to other races of men to feel fulfilled in life. So why has the black man become the least desired but the most fetishized after? Black men, what have we done or what have God damn. Oh my gosh, sorry, y'all. Whew, somebody don't want me to say this. Oh my gosh. All right. Where Somebody don't want me to say this, y'all, for real. I've been talking this whole time, haven't coughed once. But somebody don't want me to say, to say any of this right now. This is crazy. Now, I'll try to continue the best way possible. Black men, what have we done? What have we done or what has happened to us that black women see no more to be? Hold on. What have we done or what has happened to us that black women see no need to be with us and complain about it? Emasculation is more of a disease than AIDS. The worst place you can be is in the imagination of anyone. If you don't present yourself in a way that that is forthright and serious and stand for something, I truly think the pendulum will swing in our favor. So what do y'all think of this? I'm taking calls, but nobody wants to call in, so I'll end it here. Woo! Man. Damn, what divestment whore is doing voodoo right now on me? I rebuke you, bitch, in the name of Allah, alright? Jesus Christ. The whole time I'm talking about all of this, none of that happened. As soon as I had some insightful questions to ask, when I'm trying to close the show out, that starts to happen. And now I'm fine. What the hell is going on? This is crazy. Let me get off here before the voodoo bitch of doom kills me. I thank y'all for coming through. I thank you guys for coming through. Now, this is crazy. Anyway, let me end it here. It's past my time, and I was going to go another hour with calls, but nobody's on here, so. Everybody, please don't forget on Saturdays I do this here show, Marcus Speaks Live, alright? I'd like for y'all to start calling in. I want to start taking calls and start talking to you guys about the topics that I have. So start calling in. I'll have the link posted at the top at the start of each show. I will give you instructions of when I want you guys to call in, but I do want you guys to call in. Alright? So, my show on Saturdays comes on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As well, don't forget to watch Marcus Speaks Play on Fridays. I had a good turnout last night. Over 200 people showed up. After 3 years of me only speaking to maybe like 1 or 2 people at a time. So, I want you guys to start, coming through to both places, both shows, and showing support, So, that comes on 6:30-ish p.m. And when I say 6:30 p.m., 6:30-ish p.m., that means that if I don't start around 6:30, don't worry, I will come on between 6:30 to 7:30. So don't go crazy. I will be here, alright? So please follow both of my YouTube channels. that I do both of these shows on, which is Marcus Speaks Live, which is Marcus Speaks, which I do Marcus Speaks Live on, as well as Marcus Speaks Play, but also have my Marcus Speaks Play channel where I only exclusively do game streams. She's gonna kill me. Alright. Please subscribe to those. Go and subscribe, please. As well as go over to my Twitch channel where I also do gameplay shows. Please go to Marcus Speaks Productions where I do that at. Alright, on twitch.tv. If you have any recommendations, let me know either in the live chat while we're going, or let me know either in the comments if you're watching the replay here, or you can just hit me up in my DMs on social media. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Alright, there we go. I think we got the rest of that. So, follow me there on these at marcus.speaks.podcast on Instagram, Marcus Speaks on Facebook. I have a new page over there, Marcus Speaks Podcast, as well as I'm on Twitter at Marcus Speaks 25, username Marcus Speaks Podcast. Alright. So please check out all those links, alright? Subscribe, follow, alright? Let me know. Get me up in the algorithm, alright? I must was in the algorithm last night because people was loving what I was doing last night. So I want you guys to start coming through, especially on my Saturdays when I do my podcast, because I want to talk to y'all. I want to know who I'm entertaining out there, alright? So if you could, like this video, share this video, and as well, if you're new, subscribe, hit the bell icon all, so you can immediately get all of my notifications once I go live, alright? And once you're here, drop a comment in the chat, let me know how you doing, as well as you can hit the link down and talk to the host of the show. And the way I can do this is using Restream.com. This is not a paid promotion, but I like using Restream.com. Alright? Restream.com allows me to go live to my YouTube channels and my Facebook group page and Twitch and any other place where I feel as though I want to go. So, everybody, I'm out. I thank y'all for watching, and I'll check you all out next week. Peace out.